Terri Murphy, the founder of the Women's Wisdom Network and the senior editor for Realty Times, Women in Business, Women in Real Estate in the Men's Room with Murph. And you know, every once in a while, we have one of those super women, you know, the kind that are tall and gorgeous and have a full life and they give to other women. And that's one of the criteria for being a guest on Women's Wisdom Network. Her name is Teresa Bailey. She is a director of development and wealth strategist at Waddell and Associates here in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to tell you, I love women who help other women, and she fills that bill. She is a certified financial planner and a professional certified divorce financial analyst. Where were you when I needed you? I don't know. She was named the Memphis Business Journal's 40 under 42 years, twice. And she splits her time not only between Memphis and Nashville, which is like 3 hours, and she helps other women, and she does all this extra work on her community and brand development, and she has a 10-year-old daughter. I think she's pretty busy. I can't wait for you to meet her. Please meet Teresa Bailey.
Thank you, Terri, so much. Such kind words. I appreciate it.
It's all the truth. It's all the truth. I'm Catholic. I can't lie. So I knew David Waddell. I knew his parents. I knew that, you know, financial planning is one of those things that you have to kind of do like taxes. Oh, I don't like it. And most women don't, but you are an advocate for getting women into the financial planning industry. And at your age, which is clearly, you know, 40 aroundish, you've been helping a lot of women because it's not that difficult. It's just a process. And so would you tell us a little bit about how you got into the business?
Yeah, actually, my degree is in corporate finance. But every job I had prior to getting my degree, I was helping people. So when I graduated with a corporate finance degree, which ultimately puts you in a cubicle, there was absolutely no way that that was going to happen with me. So in my first position, I was really a chief operating officer of a firm. And what I learned about financial planning and managing your finances is there's very little math, I think, and that's the barrier that overwhelms people. It's all strategy, right? So I got into financial planning and ultimately started working with more women when I got a hold of cases that were post-divorce, after the divorce settlement was signed, sealed, and the assets were delivered, and they were terrible. There was no planning for how much was actually needed. And so I started looking at what would be required to do financial planning during the divorce process. And that's ultimately what has led me to hope to understand more and more about what will excite women about the process of managing their own finances and being more involved in it.
I think one of the, in our pre-interview, one of the most powerful statements you made is it doesn't make any difference if it's little or small. It's just that you have a plan. And we know that women of a certain age particularly contribute $19 trillion to the GDP every year and control $17 trillion worth of the money. We better know what we're doing, is what I was thinking. So yes. Talk to us a little bit about the myths you think about solid financial plan. I don't have enough money. It's confusing. I've been there, done that, and it didn't do anything. I mean, tell us from your standpoint, what you think are the myths or barriers.
I really do think it's that internal monologue of, you know, you have to be good at math, and women generally generalized are not good at math. And first of all, I know a lot of women who are spectacular at math. So, you know, that's
not true.
Pardon?
I said that's not true. Yeah, a lot of women are really good at math.
And then, you know, second, as I said before, so much of it is not about the math. Very little is actually math, especially nowadays with technology. It's much more about strategy. And if there's one thing that I truly believe women do well, it's strategy. I mean, we are juggling all the time, and that requires strategy. So I think the biggest myth is that we can't do it. I think the framework for finances has been presented to us incorrectly.
So when you say strategy, give us an example of what you mean by strategy. Long-term, short-term stocks, bonds. I mean, all that stuff is right up there with, you know, things that most people don't understand unless they know the stock market.
Yeah, a lot of what you're going to invest in really depends on when you might need the money. And so, yeah, the strategy of, when might I really need these dollars? If it's not going to be for 20 or 30 years, well, then that unfolds. Okay, well, maybe I can take a little bit of what the industry calls volatility, but in layman terms, it's, the account value going up and down. So it's, strategic thinking like that. If I don't need the money for a long time, then what's on my statement going down, I can absorb that.
So what I'm hearing you say is that if I'm 25 or 30, I'm coming to, or I'm 50 or 60 or above, it's going to be a different strategy based on your needs and what you presently have and what you can invest in that has a faster or a longer return. Would that be accurate?
Yes, absolutely. Where you are in your age, also in any pot of money that you have, what you'll need it for and when you'll need it is very important. Everybody's plan should look different.
Well, talk to me about the taxes part of it. I mean, so many people are so busy making money or having made money, and they think they've got a retirement because they maybe have a 401k or some kind of pension. But there's so much more to that. I mean, the fees, and how do you even find a financial planner that, are you worried about, commissions? Is it just good for them? How does it work? I mean, what would you say to someone who said, okay, I'm up, I want to do a financial plan, a solid one going forward? Where would I start?
The first place that I always suggest is asking friends and family, not all just for a name and a number, asking them about what they experience and what the relationship is like. Because what you're looking for, if you truly want to get into long-term financial planning, is there is a clear line of communication. They are meeting with their advisor frequently, and they feel like their goals and needs are being met. I think financial planning means something different to everyone when you ask. And so the first place is asking those friends and family that you know and trust who they use and what the relationship is like. And then there's so much information available online about what could be a fit for you. I work specifically in a fiduciary model, which means there's no transaction charges, there's no commission. You're only paying me for my advice. And I just happen to like that setup because it removes, any kind of conflict about me suggesting something that might pay me more.
So you're a single mom, and some of the people we've met in your strategic alignment are also single moms. And would there be a different type of strategy for somebody who's got a young family who's single? And how would they protect that?
You're really, looking at different types of risk at that point. There's the risk that you may become disabled and your income might stop for a while or permanently. Estate planning, I love to walk my clients through the estate planning process. I don't just send them to an attorney. I like to be there with them because it's not just the document, it's the life that will change if you ever need those documents. And so for a single mother, there's a lot of what if she's suddenly not there anymore. So I think really it's risk assessment and maybe saving a little bit more than a household would if it was a 2-income household. So it's just a little bit of a tweak.
But it's a plan. And we all know that anything that's consistent has an outcome. And if I know that I should be putting $100 a month away or $50 a month away in some kind of a vehicle that will grow, even if it's a little bit of a risk thing, that's going to be really helpful. So I know, speaking of moms, so for those of you that don't understand the geography, Memphis is right the opposite of Nashville in about 3 hours plus, and you have a daughter, and we all know that, at that age, they have events and whatever, and then you have to take care of yourself. And I know you are extremely customer driven. You do a great job of taking care of your people. How do you find life balance? I know it's a fallacy, but how do you find balance? And are you good at saying no?
Well, on this one, I have to tell you, I don't think I have it all figured out yet, but the more that I place intention on how important it is to have that balance, the more that really I think where I've found a method that works for me is I am a chronic overscheduler. I love to do things. And do you know anything about that, Terri?
I don't know, maybe a little.
So I love to say yes. I love to schedule things. So for me, the balance is I schedule time for me and my daughter, and I schedule time for me. So I'm scheduling for my clients, I'm scheduling for my colleagues, and right in line there, I schedule time for myself and time with my daughter. And that has worked really well for me.
And I want you to know I did not prep her on that. And that's the one thing women don't do well, especially women in business. You know, we have a strong accommodation need because our adaptability is so strong. I mean, as an example, if you're a young mom and you're still feeding your baby, you can't go, I'm sorry, I'm the break, I've got another 10 minutes. I mean, you know that you're going to adapt to that and accommodate, which inevitably cuts into private time, which cuts into health, which cuts into creating a life by design instead of by default. So I wanted you ladies to hear, she said that she does just block out some time, because the fun factor needs to be there. And I'm not talking, and fun can be, you know, baking cookies or going out in the garden. I mean, it can be anything you want it to be that's fun, that distracts you from always the need to be working. And so I admire you for that, because you've done so much other things. I mean, other things that you're doing for Waddell, which includes coordinating brand development. Oh, like you've got time for that. Client events, educational, current development. For the wrap, what one thing must women do for their financial portfolio? I mean, they just start now? Should they interview people? Share with us if I came to you and said, I don't know what to do.
There's so many things that I could say on this one, but
and that's why you're going to be back again and again. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're
most important for me, even if it's starting small, is pay your future self like you pay your house note and your car note.
Oh, boom. Wait, let's say that again. That was beautiful. Go ahead.
Pay your future self like you do your house note and your car note. Non-negotiable.
Okay, I want you to hear the space around that, ladies, because we take care of everything and everybody. And it's not that we're expecting, I think that at some age we expect that we're just going to muscle it out, do it ourselves. But like you said, things can happen. So that is one of the best pieces of advice. So Teresa Bailey is, in my mind, one of those power women that we aspire to be like in so many ways. Being organized, giving back, being a great mom and dedicated, and doing things for our community that make a difference. If someone wanted to reach you, what would be the best way, Teresa?
Our website lists all of my contact information. It's www.wealthstrategists.com. And my email is there. Also, all of our office phone numbers too.
Well, I think those small steps first, even if it's a small amount, it can always, once you're conscious and once you're aware, you can't become unaware. And obviously, Teresa has some of the greatest standards. She's going to be back, but if she doesn't know it, she's going to be back a lot. Thank you for joining us, Teresa Bailey from Waddell & Associates, and giving great advice to women here for women helping women. You fit right in. I hope you'll join us again for another segment of Women in Business on Realty Times TV, and the Women's Wisdom Network. I'm Terri Murphy. Thanks for joining us.